Last month's landmark ruling by the Supreme Court that overturned the Roe v. Wade decision. But the order is limited in scope and expected to face legal challenges before it goes into effect. The executive actions signed today are intended to head off some potential penalties that women seeking abortion may face after the ruling. But it cannot restore access to abortion in the more than a dozen states where strict limits or total bans have gone into effect, like Arkansas and Oklahoma. Well, thank you for joining us here this evening. I'm Joe Ellison.
And I'm Erica Thomas. After today's executive order was signed, we circled back around to Arkansas lawmakers who are drafting legislation that could potentially prevent people from going across state lines for abortions. 5 News reporter Catherine Gilker joins us with more. And Catherine, you spoke with others who say the president's order is reaffirming for people's rights.
Planned Parenthood Great Plains applauds the president's executive order and says it reaffirms that reproductive care, including abortion, should be safe, legal, and accessible. Republican Senator Jason RAPERT says the president is weaponizing the Department of Justice against the Supreme Court and states across the country. He thinks signing the executive order is something the president will regret.
It seems to me that Joe Biden has decided that he doesn't like what the Supreme Court has said, and he's going to do everything he can to undermine that. In fact, I believe it's going to spawn more litigation, and you will see probably lower courts begin to strike down what the federal government is doing.
Last week, RAPERT told us his organization, the National Association of Christian Lawmakers, was drafting legislation to prevent people from what he calls trafficking women across state lines for abortions. He says the Supreme Court says the states have the right to regulate or prohibit abortion no matter what the president says.
We need to do everything we can to stop the end run around the abortion bans so that we can stop chemical abortions through mail delivery, and also stop the abortion trafficking industry that is trying to rear its head in our country.
In a statement from Planned Parenthood Great Plains President and CEO Emily Wales, she says these past few weeks have shed light on the worry, fear, and confusion many are facing having had their rights taken away overnight. She says, in part, elected officials from every level of government should safeguard the ability to access care and combat misinformation about contraception and life-saving treatments for patients with ectopic and other pregnancy complications. While patients can no longer access abortion care in 3 of the 4 states they serve, Planned Parenthood Great Plains doors remain open for other services and will continue to deliver compassionate care to all. Governor Asa Hutchinson calls the president's remarks today about states who protect life misleading. He says the president's attack on the Supreme Court and disrespect for the state's rules further divides our country. Catherine Gilker, 5 News.
All right, thank you, Catherine. Now, the governor also says there has been incorrect information about Arkansas's trigger law. The law does not impact contraception or treatment for an ectopic pregnancy.